My fellow compassionate capitalists, Steve and Catherine here at Titan Impact Group. We are the sentinels of the American dream. Hey, I'm a little bit pumped up today. I'm a little bit excited. I'm sure that by the time this is over with, I'm going to be going in all different directions and things are going to be crazy. And I'll let Catherine clean up my mess because she is flawless when it comes to my segues and making what I say matter. So, speaking of words mattering, today, one of the things I'm really pumped about, September 22nd, 1862, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, thus giving freedom to over 3 million African American slaves. Now, what's so exciting about that and why do I get pumped up about it? Well, I don't know if you can see this. I may or may not have gone against David Rubenstein, who happens to be a patriotic philanthropist. Yes, the hedge fund Carlyle Group, he leads that. He's a great guy. I don't have anything against him. I've lost a few things against him in auctions and stuff, but hey, no hard feelings. I do want to continue his work of compassionate capitalism. But that broadside that I just showed you, what it was that when Abraham Lincoln first did the Emancipation Proclamation, they made 48 broadsides that he personally signed and sold for $10. So Abraham Lincoln, a compassionate capitalist, when it comes to bill, or excuse me, it wasn't a bill, obviously a bill would go through Congress, which the 13th Amendment did pass in 1865. So, however, the Emancipation Proclamation was simply a presidential order. But to turn it all around and make it all look that, it's going together, the 48 copies, about half of them exist today. He sold them for $10 a piece in order to help the Union troops for medical supplies and things like that. So again, compassionate capitalism, even in government, we may have to go back, 150 years to find it, but hey, it did exist, it does exist. And his original handwritten copy of the Emancipation Proclamation, unfortunately, was destroyed in the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. So I get excited when these type of things come up for auction. Like I said, giving a shout out there to David Rubenstein, who is America's foremost patriotic philanthropist. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even have the Magna Carta in the National Archives today. He bought that off of, it was actually an auction, but Ross Perot owned it before him. And he does tremendous work all throughout Washington when it comes to the Smithsonian, when it comes to the monuments, when it comes to historical documents. And it is an honor and a privilege to be attempting to follow in his footsteps. So, with that, that's probably enough about my man crush on David Rubenstein and trying to be America's next patriotic philanthropist. I'm going to segue over to Catherine to flawlessly make what I said have sense and apply to today about emancipating yourself from the chaos of COVID-19, of the economic emancipation. What do we need to do?
So I love what he talks about and how he keeps a track of history and what happened on this day. So the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing those slaves is a big deal. And slavery still exists today, unfortunately, as we know. And there's a place of being really clear that when we get ourselves educated inside of our finances, that we get to become we free ourselves from slavery around our finances. And one of the things that is happening is on Wall Street. I do believe that there still are politicians out there who do want to, do the right thing by all the people that have absolutely voted them into whatever positions that they're in. And sometimes they're between a rock and a hard place. And, Americans are working really, really hard, saving their money inside of their investments and everything. And what's happening is we're watching these hedge funds and these other companies on Wall Street that are controlling people's 401ks. And what they're doing is they're actually betting against them. Meaning that they are buying these notes up at 120% of the actual value for non-performing notes. This does not make sense. We do the numbers tell us what to do. these numbers do not make sense. So the impact that it's going to have on a lot of Americans, inside of feeling like they're in the rat race, that they're slaves to their jobs, it's detrimental. It's very scary for me. However, what can I do about it? We can continue to educate and empower our investors and make sure that we leave every person, property, and community better than we found them. Inside of what we do, we make sure that that our company and our teams are doing the numbers telling us what to do, so that we are constantly adding commas to bank accounts and collapsing timelines, both on this side of our company with the notes as well as the other side, which is the commercial development side. So we got some really, really great stuff happening, which I'm super excited about. We have a development that we're in the middle of actually creating workforce housing up in northern Arizona, which we're really excited about, to be able to help an entire community continue to expand and grow. So it couldn't come at a better time. So we're very excited about that. Again, leaving every person, property, and community better than we found them. So with that,
just real quick, I know she wants to close this out. Too bad. Hey, if you're ever in the Scottsdale area, I mean, if you want to do business with this, you can give us a call. You can, like, click, whatever the deal is. You know how to get hold of us. It's obvious. But hey, if you're ever in the Scottsdale area and you don't want to go to DC, you're sick and tired of seeing the whole place look like it's under invasion. You got all these guards and fences and everything else like that. And now, honestly, they really are putting advisories on the Declaration, the Constitution, and all the charters of freedom, that the language might offend people. I'm just saying, we've got the Wall of Zim. We've got documents that may or may not be just as good as you find in DC. And we will let you be offended. Okay? You can read it straight or not.
Put on your big boy and big girl underwear. You can handle it.
The bottom line is, it is up to compassionate capitalists. Government government has never been able to preserve history. Government has never been able to do much right at all. It's always in the end up to compassionate capitalists, including saving America's documents, so that we can know what has happened in the past and how we are to use these documents to lead us into the future, to emancipate ourselves from the evils of government, if you will.
Lack of education.
That's better. Lack of education. And hey, make sweet portfolio profits, because capitalism is the cure for everything. So with that, may you never awake from the American dream.